Hi guys, welcome to Tyre's Planet. In our last video, we spoke about how to gear yourself up for a Leh and Spiti ride. This time we'll be talking about how to get your bike ready for the same. Well, the first thing we'll start with is your bike's protection. When we talk about protection, the idea is to save your bike in case it falls, in case the terrain is rough, or be it any factor of something hitting your bike too. In that case, the first thing will be good crash guards, which mostly covers both the engine and the tank, so that the entire fairing is covered in case the bike ends up falling. Second will be a good radiator guard. A radiator guard is something that comes in the front over here. Now the agenda behind that is when you're riding, the roads are rough, there are pebbles and stones, or you're tailgating a 4-wheeler or a 2-wheeler, there's a very high chance small pebbles and stones will come hit on a radiator. In case there's a very high damage or a big impact on the radiator, the bike will get stalled then and there and you'll have to call RSA only. Third, we'll recommend you to go for a good bash plate. With difficult terrains, water crossings, there are big stones, big boulders which you won't be seeing or you might miss them out on. In that case, if something hits the underbelly of the bike, it can cause a permanent damage and hindrance to your motorcycle. Now, the fourth item when we talk about protection will be a good set of handguards. Whenever your bike takes a fall, the first thing that touches the ground is the bike's handlebar. Without a handguard, you can end up breaking your levers, the handlebar can get bent, and even you can end up hurting yourself. A handguard definitely plays a good role. The last item in protection would ideally be a good side stand extender. There will be certain patches when you're parking your bike on the sides of the roads aren't even. In that case, a side stand extender helps you to increase the surface area of the stand and makes your bike parked more evenly and in a more secure and a more stable way. Well, this covers most protection parts of the motorcycle. Well, in ergonomics, the first thing we recommend is a good handlebar riser. Well, risers make sure handlebar is lifted a little up and it comes towards you. So rather than you adjusting yourself as per the bike's handlebar, you make the handlebar come towards you. This makes saddling on the bike easy, and even when you're sitting on the motorcycle or riding posture for a longer ride, makes you more comfortable. Now, second thing we'll recommend in your ergonomics will be a good windshield. Now, basically a lot of motorcycles that come with windshields, either they're very small or they're very tall. You need to ensure that your windshield is big enough to avoid any air friction coming on your chest, basically to avoid wind blast coming on your chest, and it also doesn't disturb your line of sight. Whatever windshield you go for, make sure you never look through the windshield, you look through above the windshield and it isn't coming in between. Also, windshield helps you to ensure that your body fatigue goes down with constant wind hitting on your chest and you have lesser wind blast inside your helmet. After the windshield, we'll talk about foot pegs. Well, in most bikes, the stock foot pegs are very thin, they're very narrow. So in that case, you end up losing a good grip on them. So in case you're saddling on the motorcycle or in case you're sitting and riding, extended foot pegs ensure that you're more comfortable, you have bigger surface area and you have a better grip on the pegs. Next would be a good pair of traction pads. When you're riding on a motorcycle or you're saddling on a motorcycle, you create or you make a grip on the bike's trunk through your knees. Well, a pair of traction pads make sure that you don't slip around and you're comfortably able to hold the bike's trunk for a longer ride. In case you're someone who feels very chilly on your hands, we'll recommend you to go for a pair of heated grips. Well, you can have your hand guards to save wind coming on your hand. You can wear a winter glove, but at times there'll be situations when the temperatures are very, very cold. In that case, a heated grip comes in really very handy when it keeps your entire palm warm. So basically the way it works is this part of the handlebar stays warm. Your palm is covered with the heated grip. Your upper part is covered by the hand guard and you're also wearing a winter glove to avoid wind coming inside. So your hands stay comfortable, they stay warm, they don't get very cold and you're able to ride comfortably. Next thing we'll talk about are lights. Well, you need auxiliary lights or extra lights to make the roads more visible to you. For most bikes coming in these days, the stock headlights aren't powerful enough to keep you complete visibility while riding in the night. Well, these lights help you out in making the roads more visible to you and also making you more visible to the traffic in front of you. For example, riding on a highways, there are buses and trucks. You need lights to make you more visible so that they can give you a way to pass through. You can put lights in the front of your vehicle, you can also put lights in the back of your vehicle. These can be brake lights. So how brake lights help you out is that they indicate the traffic behind you, they make you more visible to the traffic coming behind you, and also in case you're riding in a group, the weather, the day is setting down, it's getting dark, your fellow riders can easily locate you in case they get stuck behind you to traffic or some other certain conditions. Hence, lights are a must-have when you're going up in the hills to Spiti or Leh. Also in case it's raining, if it's foggy, stock headlights won't do the job. In that case, auxiliary lights are definitely required. Next we'll talk about is navigation. Well, make sure you always have a phone mount with you, or rather we'll recommend to carry a GPS device with you. There are certain places when there is no network, in that case Google Maps won't work. Usually having a GPS mount with a proper GPS device is always more reliable. for places when there is no network or there are very minute ways across. Second, always ensure that you have something to charge your phone or a GPS mount. This can be a USB charger, a C-type charger. Some bikes have it pre-installed with them. Some bikes have a DIN port, and some bikes there is no provision. So whatever it is, make sure you get the necessary adapter required to keep your phones or GPS mounts, GPS devices charged across the entire way. We've spoken about protection, lights, navigation and ergonomics. Next we talk about luggage, one of the most important factors to talk about when you're planning your ride to Leh or Spiti. Well, in luggage you get options like tank bags, frame bags, tail bags, saddle bags or panniers, or a top box. Now which one should you go for? Well, first we recommend always pack light for your ride. Never ever carry a lot of stuff with you. Carry what you need. If you're riding solo, you can go for a good tail bag and a top box. A top box usually comes in handy in case you have something valuable, in case there is something that can break in case the bike falls, and also in case you want something which is always lockable and secure, like a camera, a laptop, a drone, etc. In case you're riding with a pillion, you can go for a tank bag to keep everything you need during your ride, and also to keep your luggage. Once you reach the destination, you can go for a pair of saddlebags or panniers along with the top box. A top box, first, like we spoke about, ensures your stuff remains safe and lockable, and also doubles up as a backrest for the pillion. Next, we'll talk about bike maintenance and spares. First, always make sure that your chain is always cleaned and lubricated. Carry a small pack of chain clean and chain lube. It won't take much space, but probably after every 300 kilometers or after a very dusty ride, make sure you clean and lube the chain. Second would be microfiber cloth. Well, there's a high chance of your windshield getting very dirty or insects chipping on your windshield or even on your helmet's visor. So a microfiber comes in really handy to keep these clean. You can keep it in a tank bag. You can use it very often whenever you want to, in case any of these get dirty. Third will be a tire repair solution kit. Well, in that case, when we talk about tires, you can have a tubeless tire, you can have a tire with tube, and these can have very frequent punctures. If there is a tubeless or a tube tire, always keep a puncture kit with you. In case there's a tube tire, also make sure you have spare tubes, because finding spare tubes over there might be a problem for you. Second, keep a tire pressure gauge with you so that you can constantly monitor your tire pressure levels. You can see if there's dipping and what can be the reason behind that. Third, keep an air compressor with you. Once you've repaired the tire puncture, you can easily pump in air by plugging it with your bike's battery or a cigarette socket port, and you can maintain your tire pressure levels. Also, we strongly recommend you to carry a fuel storage solution for yourself. Well, these come in two options. Either you can go for a pair of jerry cans, which can be mounted on your bike's tank guards or on your pannier frames, but the only con with them is they end up taking a lot of space. You can't carry them easily. You have to always keep them mounted on the motorcycle, and once they're empty, it's a liability for you since they take the same volume. Second option will be to go for a fuel bladder. A fuel bladder is easy to store. You can keep it in your tail bag, in your saddle bag. Once empty, you can fold it and store it anywhere you want. It takes limited space and does the same job. Also, we recommend you to carry some spares with you, which can be first a toolkit. Second, some people also end up carrying a clutch cable with them in case it breaks down the line. It can be repaired by any technician, any mechanic you can find over there, but do carry one with you. And also, before you start riding, before your ride, get a full bike check done. Get your engine oil levels checked, get your brake fluid levels, coolant levels, and also brake pads checked. In case of an emergency, some things come in really handy. It can be duct tape, zip ties, shoelaces. Always carry spare bungees with you to tie up your luggage in case it's a very rough patch you're hitting, or in case one of the luggage solutions give up. Well, I hope this video helps you out in how to gear up your bike or kit up your bike for a ride to Leh and Spiti. For any queries, you can always comment in the section below. Well, ride safe. Cheers.